Russillo Show on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
Something happens this time of year, a week before the NBA draft, that always makes me a little scared, and it's something that GMs will even talk about, which we'll get to right now here on the Russillo Show. It's ESPN Radio and ESPN News with Randy Scott. Just want to remind everybody, podcast, speaking of, we haven't had the numbers even come in from the Barstool hit yesterday. We were now number 4. The Russillo Show is now number 4 on iTunes, and it'll probably go up even higher after this week's tabulation.
You are welcome. I was bumped for those guys, and
but you've been a part of this. You were part of last week, right?
You're welcome for that, too. I was bumped for Chris Long and SVP. Your
malleability has been a big part of the show's success.
I'm flexible. Yeah, I'm flexible. That's all.
Look, we're always in the 40s. You crack into the 30s every now and then, but we've been doing some different things, and people really seem to like it. So, yeah, it was. I think it was number 4 when we looked at it last night, yesterday, and then we'll get the numbers in from whatever we do for the rest of the week. So thank you very much for listening, subscribing, and commenting on our podcast page. Some stories, including the number 1 podcast right now, which are stories you need to hear to believe, including 30 for 30 podcast, all new stories from the producers of the acclaimed 30 for 30 series. Subscribe now in the Listen tab of the ESPN app or Apple Podcasts. We are going to speak with Kevin Van Heerden, who tweeted out his sparring match with McGregor in about, 10 minutes or so. The thing I'm getting to with the NBA draft, right? It's my favorite thing. I'll be doing it, I think, in studio, I don't know how much of the day, but Van Pelt towards the end of the night. And you have thought what? You would thought what would happen at the top of the draft next Thursday.
We had a segment yesterday where, all right, 1 and 2 are locked. It's Fultz and Ball, Boston, Los Angeles. Let's start the draft at 3. That's how locked in we were.
Okay, and everybody has been doing that. And last year when you did that, you'd be right to do it. I guess that's what you were supposed to do this year because that's the way everybody has talked about it. But we, and I mean people that work for teams, people that talk about the draft, okay, just whether you're a media guy or somebody that's actually making this decision, we are collectively afraid and incredibly influenced by mock drafts. Like, I'll be honest with you, when I watch all the players at the top, and I'm just a guy that puts a lot of time and watches it, you can think I'm a complete clown and I don't know what I'm doing. That's fine.
Okay.
Because I'm going to get it anyway. But when I watch Markelle Fultz, and I watch Lonzo Ball, and I watch Josh Jackson, and I watch Jason Tatum, and I look at De'Aaron Fox, and I'll tell you, when I watch Jonathan Isaac from Florida State, who's 6'11", and you go, okay, jumper, off-the-catch jumper, dribbles the length of the court, blocks a shot, 3 assists per game, hits his threes. I look at all of these guys and go, they're all really, really good prospects. Why is it just Fultz and Ball? Why is it so locked in? But because it's been locked in for so long, Randy, I've been afraid to say I think Josh Jackson should go number 1. Like, I'm admitting to you that if it's a tie, I'm just going to say, yeah, I think Fultz should go number 1 because everybody's been saying it. And I think owners of teams look at these mock drafts, and then if you were the GM and you walked in and you're not a GM with a lot of juice, you'd walk in and go, you know what, I actually want to take the De'Aaron Fox number 1. Your owner would go, you're insane. I've only seen this Markelle Fultz guy at 1 for 2+ months. Now, some teams I talk to think Fultz clearing away. It's him, and then it's everybody else. Okay, that's fine.
Well, you're a tiers guy. That's how you look at this talent, right? So you're saying some teams there's a Fultz tier and then everybody else.
Yes, some teams say that. Some teams think it's Fultz, Lonzo Ball, and Josh Jackson. Jackson is mentioned as the number 3 guy. It's not a consensus, but he is mentioned third by more teams than any other player. And then there are some teams that really like De'Aaron Fox and go, why is De'Aaron Fox behind Lonzo Ball? And I'm telling you, when you watch him, like when you just watch him, I don't think there's as much separation as the way it's being talked about because it's just easier to go, yeah. Like if I went on SportsCenter and I said I'd take De'Aaron Fox number 1, you guys would use me all day long, every single day from here until the draft.
Yeah, so why don't you do that more? Why don't you?
I'm not ready to sign off on that kind of thing because Fultz is the better shooter than Fox, but I don't think there's that big gap. But I think everybody starts repeating what everybody else has said. Like the Lonzo Ball thing that all of a sudden now he's open to talking to other teams, that should be a really big sign, even with the second workout, that, hey, maybe I'm not locked in here at number 2, and I better get my medicals to some of these other teams so I don't have a bad night next Thursday.
Okay, why is this surprising to us when this is sort of how media has been for the last year, right? Like you hear a rumor about a pizza place in D.C. and it just becomes fact to a lot of people, right? So you hear 1, 2, You hear Ball at 2 and Fultz at 1. And
Time
it's
out.
sort of,
What's the pizza analogy?
I don't want to get into it. It's a
Okay.
political thing. I'm
All right.
treading in murky waters. But, like, people hear these stories, and they're like, I don't need to verify that. I've heard it enough places. I've seen it enough places, and they take it as fact. And that happens in sports, of course. It's happened in sports for forever. So, of course, it's happening now.
But last year, look, I get what you're saying, but last year, Ben Simmons, Brandon Ingram were 1-2. And you weren't going to run into anybody else that was going to say that. This year, it's being treated the exact same way. We have players 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Which we didn't have last year.
We didn't have those guys last year.
So the tier last year was Ingram, Simmons, and then everybody else. Are you saying that there's a Fultz tier, a Ball tier, a Jackson tier, and then you get below it? Or are you
Wait
saying
a minute,
that
that's 3 tiers and just 3 players?
Well,
No.
yeah, I mean, are you saying each of those 3 guys is in its own top tier? Their own top tier.
Let's go on what teams say, okay? Because I think that's what people care about a lot more, is that it's either 1, 2, and 3 in the first tier, Fultz in his own tier, or it's 1 through 6. Again, Isaac, Tatum, Fox, Jackson, and Ball and Fultz. And that's why I'm kind of doing this now and talking about it, that if we're here at next Thursday and the Celtics don't take Markelle Fultz, people are going to act like it's a complete shock. I could say I'm a little surprised, but like there's surprise and there's just what the hell are they doing? It would be treated as what the hell are they doing? And all you'd be doing is going, well, wait a minute, why are you questioning it so much? Because you just read it for 2 months?
Okay, the fact that Danny Ainge is at the top of this draft, that has a larger like that domino might as well be a checker in terms of this game, because he's a guy who is
he playing chess while everyone else is playing checkers?
He's so good. He's so good at misinformation. He's so good at talent evaluation, and he has his own set of values in terms of what he looks for in a player, right? I mean, we had Chad Ford on last hour who says that. So it's this draft is unique in that respect as well.
The Jackson thing, because he's 6'8", because he does more things than just a slashing scorer. Some of the guys that are just slashing scorers, you go, okay, if you don't have the ball in your hands every single time, then you're not going to really be able to do much. And I think Jackson is more than that, and because he's that big. But he's not a shooter. Even though the numbers are okay, the free throw numbers are terrible. And when you look at his shot, it's so out in front of him, it's a little weird, where Fultz is this guard that everybody wants now, this guard that can stretch the floor and shoot from 3. I'd be surprised if Ainge went with the non-shooter, but he's done it before in the face of toughness with a guy like Marcus Smart.
All right. Okay, when was the last time we had 2 guys among the top tier who had jump shot, aesthetic questions? Because Lonzo Ball's jump shot is ugly. It goes in, and that's what Chad Ford said. It goes into the college level.
Last year, your number 1 pick is Simmons, and you go, all right, do I love his shot?
But I'm saying 2 of the top, 2 of this tier, 2 guys who could go. I mean, would you be out of your mind if you saw those 2 go in some semblance of the top 3 picks? Doesn't sound like it.
Wait a
Sounds
minute,
like that's
Fultz
what you expect.
and Ball went in the top 3?
If Ball and Jackson, 2 guys with jump shot questions, and how that translates at the NBA, would you be stunned if they went in the top 3? It doesn't sound like it.
No,
It sounds
not
like
at all.
You
No.
project that. When was the last time we had that?
I'd have to go back and look it all up.
They studied the tape.
The Anthony Bennett Oladipo one. There you go.
Oh, Oladipo. Cerruti, you going to stand by and let him besmirch Oladipo like that?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Okay.
He's okay
I'm
with
all
the
right.
jump shot.
I'm good.
Jump shot criticism.
Not on Magic anymore.
Okay, his name is Kevin Van Heerden, and if you don't recognize that name, that's not on you. Don't beat yourself up. Be nice to my friend. But you may have seen a video of him, and you're not even sure why. We're going to talk with him next. He boxed McGregor, and it didn't go well. With Randy Scott. It's ESPN Radio. Nothing makes a spring, birthday, or anniversary more magical than 1-800-Flowers.com. Right now, 1-800-Flowers is offering an exclusive 24 for 24 offer, 24 multicolored roses for $24. That's only $1 per rose. Go to 1-800-Flowers.com/ESPN. We have something that's happening in-house here that we're going to touch on a little bit later. We'll get back to the LeBron stuff that we led the show with, his off-season plans, kind of mapping out a future for him that may go against some of the stuff that you've been reading. But one of the biggest news items from yesterday, just the continuation of the coverage and excitement of Floyd Mayweather and Conor McGregor. But joining us now on the show, Pennzoil Performance Line, former IBO and IBF champ in boxing, who actually sparred with McGregor and released that video on social media last night. It's Chris Van Heerden. Chris, thanks for joining us today. How are you?
Thank you, my friend. Thanks for having me. I'm very good. How are you doing, boss?
We're good, man. And obviously, we kind of know what we're in for with this fight and how much of a disadvantage Conor's at stepping into a boxing ring, but it doesn't kind of stop, at least for me, the excitement of just seeing what would happen. But you sparred with Conor. What did you see from him as a boxer?
First of all, absolutely. You know what? Everyone wants to see this fight, and it's going to be, it's going to challenge, and we all want to see it. What can I tell you about Conor? You know what? Like I said from the start, I was impressed with Conor's boxing. He's got somewhat of a boxing background, boxing skill, and I was impressed. He's not a professional boxer. He's a mixed martial artist, and taking on a pound-for-pound best fighter of this era it's not the same league.
And I noticed in the video, and it wasn't like you were beating up on him, but it seemed like you could see his punches from a mile away. Like it looked like you could touch him when you wanted to, and that he couldn't touch you. Is that how it felt?
You know what? I wasn't Conor McGregor's sparring partner. He approached me. I wasn't paid. I helped him, and you know what? For myself as well, because I knew what was going to happen. In the sense of marketing, and I was moving around with Conor, and like you said yourself just now, like you'd say, I was moving around with ease, and I was having fun, and I could land when I wanted to land. I landed. You know what? Yes, did Conor hit me? Yes, he did hit me. He's a fighter. Okay, he's a fighter. I'm not invincible. He did hit me. He did land some shots, but what I was doing, I was landing at will, at ease, and I'm no Mayweather.
Talking with Chris Van Heerden, who is a world champion in his own right, has been. And Chris, you and I talked earlier on SportsCenter, and you said you want to make things clear here. This was from May of a year ago. So speaking as somebody,
absolutely,
yeah, speaking as somebody who's devoted his whole life to this, as you have, how much improvement could Conor have in just a year?
I believe there's some improvement. I believe that they knew this was going to happen. So I'm pretty sure over the last year they focused a lot on boxing, and yeah. There was room for improvement, and I'm sure he did improve somewhat, but not enough to actually, Conor has never fought in a boxing fight. He's never been in his life been in a 12-round fight. And I'm telling you this, on the night when he realizes what he stepped into, he's going to forget what he learned in boxing because he is so used to MMA. How much did he learn? I bet he learned something, and I bet he corrected some mistakes, but not enough in this time period.
All right, Chris, in the video that you put out on Twitter, you said, people telling me Mayweather will have his hands full trying to land on McGregor. Stop it. I respect McGregor, but I ain't Floyd, and I landed. It's a situation with a guy in Conor where he's a southpaw. Supposedly, southpaws give Mayweather some trouble. Do you see that translating in August?
I don't see it translated at all. I'm a southpaw myself, and fighters do have some tricky situations with southpaws. So that's going to work in Conor's favor. And you know what? He might land a few shots. I'm not saying he's not going to land it. He's a fighter, and I would be ridiculous to say that he has a zero chance of winning because there's two guys in there. And you know what? I know the Irish comes with aggression. Conor comes very positive, very prepared. And you know what? He's got a slight chance of causing the biggest upset ever, but I don't see it happen, and I'll put my money 100% on Floyd.
Yeah. Chris, so when we look at this from the McGregor side and say, well, wait a minute, he's got that punching power. What if he just goes crazy the first few minutes? When you see a fighter desperate early to try to knock you out, is that something you actually enjoy? Like you would enjoy a fighter being that loose and free? You
know what? I'm going to talk about Floyd Mayweather here, and Floyd's been in there with guys like that that's been very, very dangerous, like Marcos Maidana. And Floyd has shown over and over that he survived. He's been tagged once that I've seen him rocked really bad by Sugar Shane Mosley, and he survived. Floyd's defensive fighter. He is a master at that. And Conor coming at him, blowing out full steam, that's the game plan I would have for Conor. I would say, you know what, you got to go there and put your life on the line and just go. But I don't see Floyd having any problems with that.
Here's the thing with the video, Chris. Conor's side released some of this footage, but it was edited first. So you put the raw footage out there, and you tweeted, what I do now is standing up for boxing and boxers. Can you explain more of that?
Yes. You know what? I'm a professional fighter. I'm devoting my life to boxing. All my years I've been boxing, trying to make it in the sport. And here comes a mixed martial artist that's a 0-0 boxing record, and he is taking a spot of fighters that's devoted their life to it. And this is the platform where I stand up for boxing and say, now, let me tell you straightforward. A mixed martial artist that's never boxed in his life will not compete with a professional boxer that is that is at the top level. And I stand up to boxing, speaking to boxing, and making it clear and showing that a boxer is in a different league in a boxing ring compared to a mixed martial artist.
Chris, also wanted to mention that you were hoping to get your hands on the WBA title and Lamont Peterson, so it's not...
Absolutely. Know what? I've paid my dues. I've been in the sport for a long time now. I've been a former world champion. My only loss in my career came to now the current IBF world champion, Errol Spence. You didn't knock me out. I'm rated number 11 by the WBA, and my manager, Peter Khan, is in contact with Al Heyman on a daily basis. Let's do it. I'm calling out Lamont Peterson for the WBA world title. He's sitting on the couch. He's got nothing going for him. We're calling him out. We are bringing my own purse. They don't even have to worry about my purse. We will cover my purse. He just has to accept my challenge. I want to be on that card. I feel I deserve a spot on the Mayweather-McGregor card. And I'm calling out Lamont Peterson for the WBA welterweight title of the world. I'm rated number 11. I mean, if you're sitting on the couch, if you're scared of number 11, then you just got to stay on the couch.
Yeah, let's do this. Before we say goodbye, you're from South Africa, so Dave Matthews, you must really like him.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes. South Africa, and absolutely, man.
All right, man. Good luck with this. Thanks so much for your time.
Lamont, come on. Tell Lamont Peterson has got to get off that couch.
Come on, Lamont.
Yeah, we'll call him out for you in the third hour.
There we go, boss.
All right. Chris Van Heerden. You saw him in the video going up against Conor McGregor.
Doing whatever he wanted in that video. Honestly. I know it was only sparring, but like...
Well, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah, he's in the red. You can find the video. It's what's Heerden's Twitter? It's at the Heat.
At your boy TC Fresh.
No, it's at the Heat 001, and he's in the red trunks. We got it on ESPN News right now. The red headgear, rather, and he's getting home on. He's got Conor against the ropes repeatedly.
All right, coming up next, there's this promotional thing going on. And everybody wants everyone here to get involved with it. You're just going to hear from a voice that you haven't heard from in a long time. If the story goes more than 3 or 4 minutes, we may cut it off. But he's usually pretty good for about 3 minutes. So Outsider has an announcement for everyone to make. And maybe we'll react to what just happened there a little bit there, too. It's Russillo Show on ESPN Radio.
And now, insurance-minded speeches from Geico.
Hardship. My grandmother would go through it every month to pay her insurance bill. First, she would handwrite a paper check, in cursive. Then, using her own tongue, she would wet a stamp for an envelope. Today, however, we need not weary our hands and tongues. Today, we can pay our Geico bill with the Geico app. Away with hardship, in with bill pay on the Geico app. Thank you.
Bro, Outsider, you got CDs upon CDs of Tupac, and you got to go Digital Underground?
Well, he was part of Digital Underground.
Part of it. Is this him spitting hot fire? No.
He was a great dancer for them.
That's cool. Good thing we're on radio.
What's wrong with Digital Underground?
Nothing's wrong with it, but is it Digital Underground's birthday?
I'd argue Sex Packets is one of the most complete rap albums of all time.
You're just sucking up to him because he gets his own day at the Yard Goat Stadium?
Easy, bro. I'm teasing that. All right. Spoiler alert. Anyway, by the way, U.S. Open's underway here on the Russillo Show. We got Randy Scott with us from Aaron Hills and leader Ricky Fowler about to tee off in the second round. The weekend preview brought to you by Geico. 15 minutes can save you 50% or more on car insurance. Visit us at geico.com or call 1-800-947-AUTO. Before we do any of this stuff, we just spoke with Chris Van Heerden, and his nickname's The Heat, if you didn't know that. The Heat. I like that. I wish my nickname was that. I wish I had thought of that before he did. Now if I do it, everybody's going to be like, you stole that from that guy.
He's got a highway patrolman's mustache, too. Like
He's an amazing guy to look at.
Physical specimen. He's a no officer, I wasn't speeding type of look to him.
So he lives in Santa Monica now. Gosh. Probably hangs out at Del Frisco's Grill right there. You know, he's got a spot. Maybe Shay J's late night. But he was born in Johannesburg, South Africa.
South African.
Right. So that's where Dave Matthews was born. So I thought there'd be a connection. Now, I understand Dave moved. He moved, like 2 years old?
I loved it when it was happening because
Oh, I loved it, too.
I think he blamed it on that he couldn't hear you, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're talking about the interview.
Yeah,
I thought you
yeah.
meant Dave live.
No. When Dave was
Sing
happening.
about weed again. All right,
Where's
so
my 8-minute musical interlude?
I like Dave Matthews. I went to go see him again not that long ago. It was sort of an accident, and then it happened. I was like, I'm glad I'm here. I'm enjoying it. I liked it. I liked it when it was happening.
Favorite Dave track? Do not say Digital Underground.
I don't know. One Sweet World, maybe? Yeah.
Tim Reynolds?
Builds.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, so we asked Van Heerden about, I thought he would really like him because they're from the same hometown, South Africa. Not everybody's from South Africa. Small world. Before we say goodbye, you're from South Africa, so Dave Matthews, you must really like him.
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes. South Africa, and absolutely, man.
Bad question?
Like you were talking to, like, I'm also from South Africa, right? Like you were talking to somebody else who just so happened to be from South Africa. Are you talking to me?
The pause was 5 seconds. That's a long pause in radio. But I think it actually worked.
Ooh.
I think that was a good pause.
Crying. It felt longer. It felt like a longer pause.
Michael Bolton, you must really like him. All right, so that didn't work. But we'll have him on again after who's he going to fight? Lamont Peterson. Yeah. All right, there we go. Russillo Show, ESPN Radio, presented by Progressive Insurance. Outsider Mike has been with us off and on at times. Apparently, I have to do a smoke break interview with him. I don't have to smoke, do I? What are the rules here?
No, you don't have to smoke.
I
just have to go out there by the dumpster where I smoke and interview you for like 90 seconds.
So you're going to interview me while you smoke.
Right.
When are we doing this?
Whenever you're free.
Is it an actual dumpster?
Oh, yeah, like right around the corner here. You've been by there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You probably don't spend as much time there because you don't smoke.
I don't smoke.
No. Although I did see an ad for those stand-up desks where they said sitting's the new smoking, which sounds kind of bad for me because I've been sitting here.
Then what does that make smoking?
I don't know. That seemed like it's a good tagline for an ad, but it seemed like a lot. Like sitting's the new smoking.
Sitting's that bad for you is what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, look, congrats on your stand-up desk, but still. Like, so the rest of us sitting, looking at you standing up at your workstation, we're all going to die?
Do you want to do the rest of the show standing?
No.
What if the national anthem is played for the rest of the show?
I sat during it yesterday, but that's because I was hosting. If you're not driving, you have to stand. If you're driving the show, it's understood. If you have progressive reads and stuff, they're like, okay, it's cool. Troops understand. So, Mikey, you are always in a quest for more fame. It's pretty blatant. And just give us the backstory of what's happening, what's going on, because I'm not really even sure.
So I do this Sunday morning show with Stu Gatz and Mike Golick Jr. I work on it.
What's it called?
Weekend Observations.
What time does it start?
7 a.m. to 9.
How often are you late for that show?
It's a group effort, but we all kind of just roll in right as the show is starting.
It's a group effort.
Stu Gatz is the best when he wakes up, boy.
You can tell. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So the lax crew.
It's very, very unbuttoned, right?
Yep.
So, I don't know. They gave me this segment called Smoke Break where they want me to talk to these celebrities outside while I'm having a cigarette. I've had Barry Melrose. He's the biggest celebrity as I've gotten.
Yeah, I'm not topping that. But that's
yeah,
a good
you
one.
are. You're
bigger than Melrose? No.
I don't know.
Come on now.
So anyways, I've got this cult following coming.
Yep.
I thought it'd be a good idea that my birthday was just this past week. Stu Gatz, he wanted to do something for me, so I wanted to throw out the first pitch at like a minor league baseball game. And I asked him if he could make it happen for me.
And so
we got in touch with the Hartford Yard Goats.
Let's play two.
Yeah.
Yep. Brand new stadium up here.
Yep.
And once I saw that pretty much everyone can throw out the first pitch at Hartford Yard Goats.
Hey,
wait a minute. So now you're not into it anymore?
No, be into it.
Well, I told that to Stu Gatz, and he was, I'll take care of it. So instead, we're having a whole Mikey C day, not just first pitch.
And that's Double-A baseball.
Yeah, the affiliates of the Rockies.
That's awesome.
But the stadium is beautiful. Have you been?
Beautiful stadium.
It is.
Beautiful. So you're going to throw out the first pitch. Is it with a bunch of other people or just you by yourself?
I hope not. I hope it's just me.
Can you smoke while you throw out the first pitch?
Yeah, it's a non-smoking stadium, though I did find the smoking area there yesterday. I scouted it out yesterday.
So you're not supposed to smoke at the stadium, and you found a place, and you're saying that on the air while they're going to have a day dedicated to you.
I'm willing to bet it's by a dumpster. Is it by a dumpster?
It's by like yeah. There was garbage out there.
Actually, there was garbage out
But
there.
So when is your day? What's the day?
It's June 28th, Wednesday night, June 28th, and it's also sponsored by Hartford Healthcare, so I can't go out there smoking.
Have you been practicing throwing? When was the last time you threw a baseball?
I used to pitch in high school.
Oh.
How long ago was high school?
Give me the old
20
3/4.
years ago.
Okay, so when was the last time you threw a ball 60 feet, 6 inches?
It's been a while.
All right,
You're
we'll
doing
get
this from the
footage.
rubber, right? Like not from the grass?
No, he's
Oh,
doing
yeah.
it for the gram.
I was going to come from the outfield and kind of throw hop it.
Yeah, they're
Don't
gonna be
do-
like, "Hey,
oh.
look, Field of Dreams. We gotta go. We get a first pitch here in 4 minutes."
Gonna milk it.
I don't know if you guys have ever thrown a... I'm
No.
very confident in my first pitch abilities, though. Have you guys ever done
Never
a first
had.
pitch?
That's a bucket list thing for me.
I did it for the River Cats, Sacramento, AAA. I threw it as hard as I possibly could.
That's what and how'd you do?
It went okay, but it wasn't a strike.
It was high though,
It
right?
was high.
Yeah. Did you notice how I threw a AAA in there, outsider?
You
You
180
threw it
me.
in there. Yeah.
Yeah, if it had been an 0-2 little chin music, that's what I threw. 0-2, get you thinking about it, then I would have got you back low and away. But yeah, I threw it really hard. It wasn't even close to being a strike. All right, so that's Mikey C Day with the Yard Goats. That's June 28th, Wednesday, so get your tickets to that one. And Hartford Healthcare, no more ironic sponsor of the night than that one. Coming up next, we haven't even done, is it too early to pick Mayweather-McGregor? No, I should probably hold out if that's going to be 2 months from now. But something else from this story that we haven't actually even touched on yet, and LeBron's offseason plan. We'll do that at the top of next hour. Russillo Show, ESPN Radio.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Wait a minute. Tupac was on this, too?
I think he was a dancer in this, right?
Yeah, I think was he?
Have I been mad on this show before? I don't think I have. It's just been all like,
I don't think I've ever seen you mad.
happy to be here, like
Yeah.
that sort of thing. But like, this is upsetting. This is Tupac's day, and you're playing a 50-year-old South African?
Dave Matthews is 50.
Do you remember the show Boston Common?
Well, I have it on DVD.
Wasn't this the theme song to that? It was a weird mishmash of a Southern guy.
It was funny as hell. I remember that show. Didn't get enough credit.
Boston. It was funny.
Dude, are you kidding? Boston Common, the sitcom? Killer laughs.
The guy was from Atlanta. He wasn't from Boston. Remember
Well, that's
the
why
guy?
I didn't get picked up, because no one would be accepted.
Give me two guys and a
You
girl.
from what? Are you from Zone 6? What's up with Zone 1 through 5?
The only South I recognize is Southie. I sound more like Peter Griffin.
The hell was that?
The two guys and a girl in a pizza place. That was my sneaky, funny Boston-based show.
Oh.
Ryan Reynolds before he blew up.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Double R. That's what we call him in Winthrop. Anyway, I don't know. Do we want to do any more on Dave Matthews? Because we were doing little impersonations there, and I think everybody sort of has one, so we're just going to let that one rest. Let's talk fighting. Is this analogy a good analogy or a bad analogy when talking Mayweather-McGregor?
To prolong and perhaps belabor the point, asking Conor McGregor to box the peerless Floyd Mayweather to compete against him at Mayweather's game is like asking Jake Arrieta to play quarterback in the Super Bowl against the best defense in the NFL. Yes, Arrieta's got a great arm. And
Randy?
That's actually
Say something nice about Jeremy Schaap.
Jeremy
Get
Schaap,
out of the way.
Jeremy Schaap is a legend. Jeremy Schaap is helping to bring OTL into the 2018 and beyond era with the new studio they got and all that stuff. That's not a good description. That's not a good analogy. It's not.
Okay, what about this one?
Mayweather versus McGregor makes no more sense, beyond dollars and cents, than squaring off Michael Phelps against Usain Bolt.
No. That's worse. That one's worse. Arrieta and throwing a football is still throwing something.
I don't think anybody is saying McGregor has any advantage in this thing. I mean, the only thing is that, if you're super technical and some of the fighting guys that really understand this stuff, that understand it far better than I do, that McGregor didn't have to come down to 147 or whatever, was able to stay at 154. Okay, maybe. But as much as this is an odd-fitting thing for McGregor to have to adapt to the boxing side of this, they're still fighters, okay? They still throw punches. To say that's the same as Usain Bolt, has anybody, time yourself in your latest 50 free, okay? We're all bad at it. Okay?
Fact, it's two different surfaces.
It's so tough to swim and to swim like competitive. Like I don't think the analogies. It's kind of fun. It's kind of entertaining. So I don't want to sit here and beat up on this whole thing, but this is turned into excited about to you're a loser if you want to watch this, and then just let me know where the losers are lining up, and when can I get in line?
It's probably at the next Dave Matthews concert.
No, not fair.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you in the loser camp if that's where it is. I'm just alarmed at how quickly that came together because this news came out less than 72 hours ago, and we're already to the point where we're past it. You know what I mean? Like it's such an obvious conclusion that, like you said, anybody who's in on it, anybody who wants to see it and who will pay money for it is in the loser camp. Didn't take long.
I'm not going to feel like a loser.
I'm not going to pay my own money for it.
Okay, I see what you're doing there.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not some sort of moral stance against giving Money Mayweather more money, although, like, if I can avoid doing that, I will. So I'll just go somewhere where it's on, and I want to see it.
You know what? I wasted money on Pacquiao, Mayweather. You want to know why? I was here doing late-night NBA wraps. It was the same night, I believe, the Chris Paul game winner against the Spurs in the playoffs.
Fact.
And I watched Pacquiao, Mayweather on another monitor, and I didn't know how long the fight was going to last. I didn't know if I was going to make it to the TV thing. So I actually even bought that fight, DVR'd it back at my house, and watched it for free here, and then got out of work at 2 a.m., and then I was like, well, I don't need to watch it now. That's wasting $100.
That's a waste. Did you go back and rewatch it ever?
No. I
home?
told myself I would, and it was basically because I was saying I was going to because I was watching two things at the same time. I didn't really need to. I did find it awesome that there was a janitor here periscoping the entire fight to his buddies back at their house.
Wow.
So we were in there watching NBA playoff games, and then we had Pacquiao Mayweather going on, and a janitor rolled in a bucket and just looked around, looked at us, seemed like, hey, these are cool guys.
Yeah.
And he just held his phone up the whole time.
Nice.
Is that legal? I don't think it's legal.
Probably not.
And then he looked at us, and then they would start speaking to each other, and
yeah.
And then, the round would go back up, and he would just hold the phone up, and there you go.
Is that kind of cool, though, that you passed that sort of like this guy's cool test in that moment?
That I wasn't a narc?
In that moment.
To not be a narc that night, yeah, it felt good.
Because you do kind of look narkish, just in terms of law. You look more law enforcement than narkish. You know what I mean? But you're up there in a suit, doing raps, makeup, probably.
Likely.
Yeah.
Although I'm more of just a powder guy than a full base. Tune in to an AL battle on Sunday Night Baseball as the Astros host the Red Sox, presented by GNC. Coverage of Sunday Night Baseball begins at 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio, ESPNRadio.com, and the ESPN app, and at 8 p.m. on ESPN. I know you want to do this. Where am I hitting this, guys? Can you just give me a heads up here? All right, this is from yesterday with the Barstool guys because Randy's fascinated that PFT and Big Cat were here with us in studio. Here is a sampling of what we did yesterday, and you can ask away or just comment. Here you go. Phil Mickelson, he's going to miss the U.S. Open, and it's an important job to be a pro athlete, but the most important job is being a father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we lose perspective of what's important, and I think it's times like these that really show you, what it's all about.
Yeah, Phil's getting later in his career, so he's realizing you gotta smell the roses every now and then. He's gonna take a step back, get some perspective.
Yeah, he's gonna blink, and they're gonna be out of the house, and
right.
He's gonna think, what might have been.
Right.
Also, with today the parade going on and the Warriors, it just makes me think the real Warriors are overseas.
Oh, that is some more perspective. That's double perspective, right?
That's a really good point. And there's a lot of talk about whether or not they're going to go to the White House. I think that you can see both sides to this issue.
Yeah, because on one hand, it's the president, and the other hand, it's a hot time right now. So you want to make sure you do everything careful. You don't want to offend anyone. You want to stay, right in your lane. Stick to sports or politics, whatever your profession is.
No, it's a good point because when I think about Steph and what he means to this team, and as great of a basketball player as he is, he's an even better person.
The hardest part for me, how do you keep a straight face? How do they keep a straight face? And why are you wearing a suit?
I had SportsCenter right up until the end, and then I thought, you know what? I'm just going to keep the suit on.
You outclassed him. Power move.
It was a power move.
Yeah. And then keeping a straight face throughout. That was impressive.
Chicken or beef? What do you recommend? Oh, the beef. I'll have the chicken.
Power move.